guys, today we'll be making this popcorn bucket beanie. We will be using a weight for acrylic yarn. I have a total of 4 colors here. I have a red and a white for the beanie itself. I have 2 shades of yellow, and I will be using white as well for the popcorn. We're going to need some scissors, a 4mm crochet hook, and then a needle. Okay, so we are going to start with our 5mm crochet hook, and then we are starting with making the beanie. To make the beanie, we are going to take our yarn. It doesn't matter which color you start with. I am starting with white. We're going to make a slip knot and attach our yarn. And then we're going to make a chain of 40. Okay, so we're going to make our chain of 40, and then we will chain 1 more, so 41. We're going to skip that first chain, and into the next, we're going to do a slip stitch. So that's 1 slip stitch, into the next with another slip stitch. And we're going to do this into the first 5 stitches. So that's 1, 2, 3rd slip stitch, 4, and 5. Okay, and then into the 6th stitch, we are now going to do half double crochets. Okay, so we're going to work our way all the way down, putting 1 half double crochet in the remainder of the stitches. So you should have 5 slip stitches, and then we'll have 35 half double crochets. Okay, so I am placing my last half double crochet. So I did 5 slip stitches, and then I did 35 half double crochets. So again, we have a total of 40 stitches, 5 of those being slip stitches. Okay, once we get to the end, we're going to chain 1 and turn our work. And now we're going to work our way back down our chain. I'm going into the back loop only. So up top, we have these little V's. This is the back loop here. There's the front loop. So we yarn over into the back loop only with a half double crochet. And then we're just going to work our way back down these first 35 stitches in the back loop only, placing a half double crochet. Okay, so I did my 35 back loop only half double crochets. Now still into the back loop, into the last 5 stitches, we're going to place a slip stitch in each. So we'll have 5 slip stitches. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, and then at this point, I am going to color change. You can color change however you'd like. I'm not going to cut my yarn. I'm going to color change after every 2 rows. If you want like your color sections to be bigger, yeah, I'm gonna do 2 rows. You can do more, like maybe change every 3 rows, whatever you want to do. Okay, so I'm just gonna add my new color. I'm gonna chain 1, and then we're gonna turn, and then again with 5 slip stitches. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I just did my 5 slip stitches, again back loop only, and then now I'm going to work my 35 half double crochets back down. Okay, and then once we get here at the end, I did my 35 half double crochets. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to chain 1, turn, and we're going to work back down, doing our 35 half double crochets and then our 5 slip stitches into the last 5 stitches. Okay, now we're doing our 5 slip stitches. Okay, and then now I'm just going to take my white, I'm going to take my red and put it inside here, and then I'm going to just pull my white yarn through and chain 1, and that's how I'm going to alternate my colors. Okay, so now we'll turn around, and we're just going to keep repeating this. So we'll do our 5 slip stitches, and then we'll do our 35 half double crochets. Right now, so far we've done 4 rows. I'm on row 5. Go ahead and repeat this until you have 49 rows total. And then once you have those, we'll go about closing our beanie and then moving on to our popcorn. Okay, so just continue that again. 5 slip stitches, 35 half double crochets. We're going into the back loop only. Chain 1, turn our work, repeat. Okay, so I'll meet you guys back once we have a total of 49 rows. Okay, so here we are. This is 49 rows. You should have ended with 1 row of whatever color you started with. So I have 1 row of white here. That's my 49th row. I'm now going to chain 1, and then I'm going to close my beanie together. At the top, one side looks neater. So this side looks neater than this. As you can see the color change in our slip stitches. So just make sure that side, make sure the neat side is flipped inwards. okay? Because once we put it together, we're gonna turn it inside out. All right, and then I'm just gonna cut my red yarn. I'm gonna leave a little tail here so I can weave it in. I'm just gonna cut that. And then now with our ends together, we are going to slip stitch them together to close. And to do that, we are going to go into the back loop. Okay, so go into the back loop of the first stitch, and then go ahead and slip stitch into the first chain on the other side. Into the back loop and into the corresponding chain. And we're just going to do this all the way up until we get to the top. Okay, so we're going into the back loop and then into the corresponding stitch on our other end and making a slip stitch. All right, once you place your last slip stitch, so into the last stitch, we're going to chain one and then cut a very long string. We're going to use this to close our beanie. Just make sure it's pretty long. And then we're just going to pull this through. Okay, and then now this is what our beanie looks like. The top is still open, of course. This is what we have. And to close the top, we're going to take our needle, thread it with your long tail that you just created. And then we're just going to, I'm actually going to tie this red one. I'll tie it when I get there. We're just going to weave in and out throughout the top like this. In and out. Oops, I'm going to go through every row, so every color, just to make it easier for me. So in and out, in and out. I'm just going to do this all the way around. All right, and then once you get back here to the beginning, you're actually going to take that tail and pull it super tight. Okay, pull it really tight, and that's going to close it. And then once it's closed, we're going to just weave it in front to back. There we go. Front to back, we're just going to make sure this is sewed shut so that the top of our beanie doesn't open. Okay, so just weave it through the front and the back and make sure that that top is sewed shut. There's no specific way to do this either. You just want to make sure that it's completely sewed shut. Okay, and then I'm going to take my tail to my red and tie it to my white here. You don't have to do that, but that's how I'm going to fasten mine off. And I'm just going to cut my yarn. And then I'm going to weave in these two tails here, which again, you can do that however you want. Just going to weave them in really quick, and then I'm going to cut them off. Okay, and then now we can take our beanie and flip it right side out. And then we just have this tail here at the end, which you can go ahead and weave that in. And then cut off that tail. And then our actual beanie is finished. So this is what it looks like. Go ahead and fold it if you like. You can wear it however. Put my seam in the back. Okay, so that's what our actual beanie looks like. And then now we will start on the popcorn, which I have a couple colors. I'm gonna use this light yellow, this bright yellow, and then some white, just to give it kind of variety of popcorn, you know. But go ahead and use whatever colors you like. And we can make as many, you can make as many of these as you like. I'm not sure how many I'm gonna make yet. I'm just gonna show you how to make one. And then I'm gonna make a few, and then we'll start attaching. So we're gonna take our yarn to our popcorn. We're gonna start by making a magic ring. So we take our yarn, wrap it around our two fingers, make an X. Under that first loop, pull the top loop, and then we have our magic ring. Okay, and then our magic ring kind of starts us off with one chain. So we're gonna chain three more. So 2, 3, 4. So that's giving us a total of 4. Now into that first chain, we'll place a slip stitch. So we chain 4, we slip stitch into the first chain, and then we chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And then we're gonna slip stitch into the ring. Okay, so that counts as 1. We're gonna do that 5 more times, making a total of 6. So we chain 4. We're gonna slip stitch into the first chain. And we'll chain 3. And then we'll slip stitch into the circle. Okay, that's 2. And again, we'll chain 4. Slip stitch into the first stitch, or first chain, chain 3, slip stitch into the ring. That makes 3. So we're going to do that 3 more times. Chain 4, slip stitch into the chain 1, chain 3, slip stitch into the middle, and then we're going to do it one more time. Okay, so after that last chain 3, and then we slip stitch into the middle, we will then take our starting tail, pull that closed. Okay, then we're going to fasten off our tail here. We're going to chain 1, and then cut a long chain, or a long, a long string here. We're going to use that to sew it onto our hat. Pull it through. just going to pull both of those tails tight and then tie them together. Okay, and then we're going to use these strings to tie that onto our popcorn. I'm sorry, onto our hat. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to make a couple pieces. I'm not sure how many yet. I'm just going to make a few and then we'll start attaching. I'll make more if needed. I'll let you know how many I made once I'm finished, but again, it's completely up to you at this point. We're just kind of customizing our hat. Okay, so I'll be back once I've made a few of these. Okay, so I made a few popcorn pieces. I made about 10. I'm obviously going to make some more, but I decided I'm going to make them as I go. That way I know what colors I need more of. So I'm just going to show you guys how I'm going to attach them, and then I'll let you guys customize yours however you like. I'm going to start with any color. We're going to take our needle, weave our tail to our popcorn through there, and then just decide where you're going to attach it. At the top, we're going to kind of have like a little mountain of popcorn, or at least that's how I'm going to go. That's how it is in the photo. That's how I want mine. And we're just going to take it and put it through our beanie and pull it all the way through. And then I'm going to do the same with the other tail. Just insert that into our beanie. And on the inside, this is how I'm going to do mine. You can do yours however. I'm just going to tie that. Okay, so I'm going to tie that. And then you can weave in your ends or whatever you want to do. I'm just going to cut that off because I don't want to weave that in. And that's how I'm going to attach mine. So there we go. We have one little popcorn. I'm going to take a light colored one and do the same thing. I just kind of put these wherever literally just however. There's going to be no specific way to do this. It's going to be completely customizable, however you want it to look. And again, I'm going to tie it. Okay, we got two little popcorns so far. And then just go ahead and do this until it looks how you want it. And then you will be done. I'm going to finish mine. And then I'll come back. I'll show you guys how mine ended up looking. And then that will be all for the tutorial. So I'll meet you guys back once I'm finished with my beanie, with putting my popcorn on my beanie. Okay, so this is what my beanie looks like. I'm actually not sure how much popcorn I made. I just kind of kept adding them until I was happy with how it looks. And then I added a couple stragglers here to kind of look like the popcorn was falling out of the bucket. But go ahead and customize yours however you'd like. And it should look something like this. You should have your little popcorn bucket beanie with popcorn. Okay, and that is all for today's tutorial, and I will see you guys next time. Bye! Sway.